Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. This is the second to last page for my Savannah Tybee Island vacation, and it's my second to last 12 by 12. So I'm hoarding the final 12 by 12 for the last page because it's just going to go so well with that photo, which left me with this multicolored polka dot as my background for this one. In hindsight, it's probably a little too busy, but it's the only other 12 by 12 I had, so I rolled with it. I have four 4x4s here that I glued into an 8x8 collage, and I knew I wanted to mat it on that scrap of that skinny diagonal stripe because it was a really good size for a mat, but I did want a more solid paper to be a mat before that, just to break it up a little bit. So I did go to my die cuts with the view paper pad and pull in this tone on tone green paper, and I trimmed that into a mat for my collage, and then from there I will mat it on the multicolored diagonal stripe. This page, my goal is to use a lot of the multicolored scraps that I have. Trying to start getting things used up. Typically at this point in my kit, I would be killing my kit and not saving or gutting what's left. But because How to Kill a Kit with Style this year, our kits are good for 3 months instead of one. I have my die cuts with a view paper pad that I will be pulling all of these scraps into to continue using for the next month and a half. So you'll see that I still gut. I did do this little notebook edge punch on the top of that multicolored stripe just because it was a little taller than it was wider, and I decided just to use that by cutting a decorative edge on the top. But you will see I do gut the middle of this, which I typically wouldn't do at this stage in a kit, but since I have time to use more of these scraps, I'm just going to keep on gutting. So I'm going to get this chunk in the middle removed before I glue down my photo. And then I definitely want some layers between the stripe and the polka dot because they're both white based with multicolored small designs. So I do have this scrap of this navy text paper from an earlier page, and it just so happened to have a chunk taken out of it from where I used to I think mat a photo, and my collage perfectly covers that hole. So it's kind of perfect that it's positioned that way. I like that darker blue kind of breaking up these multicolored smaller patterns. I think it gives your eye somewhere to rest. And then I do have this other multicolored stripe that I'm just going to cut a couple more strips from to border that navy piece. Just again to give a pop of that color in a broader way than the other two multicolored papers I've used. This paper has such good impact with the way it's designed, so I'm just going to glue strips of that on either side. I'm going to distress those edges so there's a little bit of texture, and then that will kind of be the base behind my photo collage, and then after that I get to start embellishing, so it just takes me a minute to line that up. Here I am using my Tim Holtz Distress tool just to chew into those edges a little bit, and then I'll get everything glued down. Again, typically, if I was trying to kill this kit right now, I would not gut the background, but you'll see after I finish distressing and I lay all my layers back together, there's so much of that polka dot that is covered that I decide to gut a section of it. So this is what the page will look like. I'm just going to take a moment to gut what's hidden behind that navy piece, and I'm going to end up just gluing all of these bits and pieces onto a black plain piece of paper, so I can save that pattern piece for another page. Typically I like when I get to the end of a kit because I don't have to worry about cutting or gutting, but I know I'm going to want that paper going forward when I start using my die cuts with the view paper pad, so it's happening. Just going to take a moment to glue all these pieces down and kind of get it back to where you just saw it, and then I will get to start embellishing. This page is just documenting a couple small moments. Sorry if you hear Franklin in the background. He woke up from brumation and has been a little hellion. He's had so much energy, and he is, I guess, playing on my scrapbook supplies like it's a fort. Anyways, if you hear that in the background, it's Franklin. These photos are just documenting a couple memories from this trip. Just little things I didn't think needed a whole page, but that I wanted documented. One of them is the henna tattoo that me and my sister both got. It's just one of those simple little waves. I've always wanted a henna tattoo. I don't have any actual tattoos, but I've always wanted a henna tattoo just because it's a fun little temporary thing. So Becca did it with me. We both got this little wave on our wrist. And then there's just a selfie of me on the pier looking over the beach. There is a picture of the famous Tybee Island lighthouse mural that is by the pier. And then the last one is towards the end of the day when the sun starts going down. There's a lot of locals that fish, and this one guy caught a shark, which I thought was so cool. So he let me take a picture and touch it before he threw it back, but I just thought that was so cool, so I wanted to make sure I documented it. So that's what all the photos are. I'm not even going to have a title on this page. I really am not even going to do journaling. It's just little snippets I wanted to remember, and I think they're all pretty self-explanatory. But now that I have all my papers back together, now I'm going to start creating my 2 clusters. I have a scrap of this orange map print I thought would look really good on this page. So I just trimmed it into a double-sided fishtail banner to be the anchor for one cluster in the lower right-hand corner. And then I just pulled a couple tags into the upper left-hand corner that are the same patterns I'm already incorporating. So there's a tag with the same orange map print, and then there's a tag with the same skinny diagonal rainbow stripe. So both of those are going to be layered in the upper left-hand corner. I have this banner in the lower right-hand corner, and now I'm just trying to figure out what I want to pile on top of those. I definitely wanted to get some more travel-y themed stickers and chipboard and die cuts used up because I am getting towards the end of this trip. So I pulled in this chipboard piece of a map, a coffee cup, and a little room key, and it says relax and enjoy your stay. And then on the bottom, I decided to pull in the airplane chipboard, this little I Heart Travel sticker, and a globe. And I think those all look really cute piled on top of each other. This little I Heart Travel sticker, I am going to put some foam on a couple places on the back just because it's laying over that chipboard airplane, and I want it to be able to lay flat over that. So I do end up doing that, but this is kind of the base of my clusters. And then I decide to go through my other ephemera to see if there's anything else I want to squeeze on here. So I'm going to get this part down. I am realizing that this orange banner is kind of a visually heavy part of this design, and that little orange tag at the top isn't quite doing enough to balance that. So I will end up taking another scrap of that orange paper and cutting a notebook edge punch to add to the top, and I think that helps balance that a lot better. But I wanted to point it out now before I do that so that you can really see the difference. So here I go, just taking another snippet from that same paper. I think it just needed another little pop of orange up there to make it more balanced with that big banner on the bottom. So I'm going to trim that little section off and get it stuck up there. And then I definitely do go in with the Felicity Jane chipboard hearts. There's 2 blue and 1 green chipboard heart left, so I get those used up. And then there's a couple die cut arrows that I decide to add. One says happy moment, the other says love this place. I thought those were both pretty appropriate. And I also thread my tags with the green and white twine, so I'm going to get that on here really quick too. This is actually the first page with this kit that I'm not doing the white splatter on. I just felt like this page there was enough going on that I thought the white splatter, you either wouldn't be able to see it or it would just make the page look even more busier. So I forewent it on this one. But I like the addition of the twine up there. I'm going to go ahead and commit and get this chipboard piece down. And I'm just looking for a few more snippets to add. Those are those 2 die cuts arrows I mentioned that are going to be layered up on the side there. And then there is a geode tag that's the same color as those 2 arrows. I'm going to pop that up on some foam and layer it on top of the globe on the opposite side of the page to help balance those 2 little arrows. Franklin, what are you doing? So that goes over there. And then I'm going to get these 2 things stuck down, and I think I pretty much just add the Aspen chipboard hearts, and I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm not doing journaling or a title. I think everything's kind of self-explanatory on this page. But I'm definitely glad I got what I did use used up. And the final page will be my last 12 by 12 from this kit, and then we'll have the exciting moment to drag all this stuff into the die cuts for the view paper pad, but I'm excited for. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.